That was just one example of an organisation failing to heed the advice of what was actually going on online. But another organisation that did listen to its consumers was Gap. Last month, Gap decided to change their logo. Unbeknown to them, they thought, well, who would object to Gap changing their logo? And my God, was there a backlash. And you only had to go on Facebook, Twitter, blogs, and absolutely everybody lamented the new logo. And because they felt that the new logo was too corporate, they'd lost their kind of identity with the consumer. And within 1 week, there were people redesigning the logo, and actually it was some of the new ones were far better than what they could have come up with. The Twitter conversations were just going out. Not only that, people were blogging about it. Within 1 week, Gap listened to what was happening on the social media, and they changed the logo back. And most people don't even realize they changed the logo. And they were so frightened that there would be such a backlash against their consumer base that they played a more active role. They realized, look, we don't want to be like BP and do nothing and just let the disasters kind of sort of grow out of all proportions. They took a very active role and changed their logo back. And I would say 99% of the people didn't even realize they changed the logo. There are lots of legal issues that are now emerging because of the social media. One is of copyright infringement. If you want to sort of comment about Starbucks, can you use their logo on your Facebook? Probably not. Not only that, there's employee liberties. Most organizations forbid or discourage their employees from using Facebook while in employment. But not only that, quite a lot of employers are now viewing the profiles of their employees on Facebook. And a lot of civil liberties organizations have kind of been quite upset about this. And believe it or not, there are 2 states in America, California and New York, and there's a third one, I can't remember, who've now passed legislation that said, look, so long as the employee isn't breaking the law, then he has complete liberty to go on Facebook. Because there's a lot of organizations that are discouraging such practices. Not only that, there's all kinds of litigation. I mean, if you defame somebody's character or somebody's views online, I'm sure that it's going to open up a whole torrent of litigation. So there's a whole new raft of legislation that no doubt will come into play over the course of the next few years. In terms of leaders, I was reading a report this week, and it said that only 5% of CEOs in America actually had a blog, had a Facebook, were actually engaging with their consumers. And what they're actually failed to do is that they're failing to build their own personal brand identity and of their organization. And a leader who has actually taken advantage of social media is Tom Wilkinson. I don't know if you've heard of him. His organization was pretty much on loan, and he wanted to obviously promote his products, so he started to create lots of YouTube videos. These YouTube videos, which cost him a couple of $100s, have generated millions in revenue for the organization. It's probably one of the most popular organizations. It's called Blendtech, and I'll show you an example of.
Blend, that is the question. Will it blend? That is the question. I love my new iPad. It does a ton of cool things. But will it blend? That is the question. Doesn't quite fit in the jar, but I can take care of that. No! I knew I could get the iPad and the Blendtech Total Blender. I think I'll press the iBlend button. Oh, pad smoke. Don't breathe this. Ah, that was one tough pad.
Tom Dixon started this a few years ago, just blending iPods and everything, and it is actually, I mean, look at this, 10 million people have seen this particular YouTube, and his organisation sales have just gone through the roof. I mean, wouldn't you want to purchase something that, you know, is that reliable and robust? And this is just showing the power of social media for leaders. Not only that, organisations have realised that they can no longer afford to take a passive role in recruiting the best employees. They now need to sort of be a little bit more aggressive and proactive in going out and attracting the right candidates. And that's exactly what's happening now. In fact, one of my friends at another university was poached via his LinkedIn account, where they saw his profile, they looked at his experience, they looked at his contacts, and they said, "We know what, this is a person who's actually achieved a phenomenal amount," and he was given a contract almost immediately. And this is what's happening now, where organisations are realising the power of the social media tools. And if you look at there you go. In terms of LinkedIn is probably the most popular professional tool, social marketing tool, and it has a number of advantages for recruiters, organisations who are looking for professionals. But not only that, you can now actually even search Twitter for people who have specific job title profiles. Not only that, Facebook is actively encouraging business web pages to promote vacancies, and not only that, YouTube is encouraging organisations to promote their culture and their identity online to attract the candidates to their organisation. In terms of metrics, the way organisations measure their current performance online and the social media, right now, most of the ways that organisations look at and measure their success is fairly pedantic. It's pretty much what everybody's doing. How many people are coming, how often they come, what are they doing online, how long do they spend. Anybody could do that. And what is required is much better profiling of people who come online and better predictive models. And just this morning, I came down specifically early this morning because I wanted to meet a statistician here, because part of my background is statistical modelling. And between us, we came out with a much better predictive model of understanding the consumers who come online. And it didn't take more than 20 minutes of simple computation to come out with much more sophisticated models. And we are now living in an information economy where information is the currency that will give you competitive advantage. And these applying unique and bespoke models will give you that kind of information currency. Not only that, if you apply unique metrics, you can actually ultimately enhance your brand equity. In terms of Facebook, I've done a lot of research on Facebook, and the statistics are absolutely staggering when you look at Facebook itself. I mean, it has currently, I think there's 550 million users, and it's set to sort of reach about 1 billion by the end of this year. I mean, that's phenomenal. Over 700 million minutes per month are spent on the site by users. It can be translated into 75 million languages, 75 languages. 20 million applications are downloaded every day, and there are almost a third of the users are now accessing the site through their mobile devices. Not only that, they've had to release some of their revenue, even though it's a private company. They're hoping to go public soon. The recent data shows that last year they generated revenues between they're still keeping this pretty much under wraps. It was, some reports say 1.2 billion, and some say 2 billion in revenue, of which 350 million was profit. And it's no wonder the company's valued at 50 billion, and it's still growing. And so, if anything, this is you know, if the internet is going to be dominated by a few players, it's going to be the Googles, the Amazons, the Facebooks, the eBays. These are the key players. These are the people who will be setting the market trends.